y'all know what time it is. Happy New Moon Day to the nation of YAHUAH. Throughout the entire world, we had an opportunity to enter into the 12th month of the real calendar of YAHUAH. This will be the final month of the year of the real calendar month. And then we hit the first of the real year as we prepare for Passah, the Passover, and begin the 7 festivals going into this next year. So let's finish this year, the real new year. Let's finish it with a bang. And so I hope you've had a phenomenal new moon day with me and my family. I tell y'all, we had one of the greatest times ever. We had a river that we drove up to. And you know what? It was just beautiful to watch our son be able to play out in the river, enjoying nature, the things that Yahuwah has created. It was just awesome. We took some sandwiches, we took some snacks, and we went out and we just enjoyed each other. Who joined us? My dad joined us, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, they joined us. It was just an amazing, amazing time. So we just want to let y'all know that we just appreciate you. We love you. We honor you with all we've got. I want to make sure my video, can y'all see me clear on the video? Because I've got 2 or 3 different screens, and sometimes I want to make sure the video is coming in good. So if y'all could drop a comment, if y'all can see me crystal clear on the video, that would help me out a lot to know how to move forward here. Because I don't want to make sure, I don't want to do this if y'all got blurry video. But if you got clear video, I'm going in. All right, y'all let me know about my video quality. Can you hear me good as well? Okay. So Notorious is seeing you clear. Y'all seeing me clear? Emily, my sister Emily says she got me. My sister Sherry says clear. Thank you so much. You just never know with a lot of these different screens and all the things that go on with technology. So listen, I want to talk to y'all about the power of New Moon Day. So as I was going through New Moon Day today, I realized how much power is in New Moon Day and how we're able to tap in at a higher level with Yahuwah. You see, and I promised you I'd be here today on New Moon Day. So we just got back about 30 minutes ago from the river, had a phenomenal time. My mother-in-law, my father-in-law, and then we had some friends. Y'all remember the young lady that gave the gift to the young boy? Her and her husband and her daughter, they all call on the name of Yahuwah. They came and met us out at the river. And the key is you just don't spend any money. So you got to be prepared. If you're going to leave out of your house on New Moon Day, you don't spend any money. You don't make money. You don't spend money. So we had to go out and literally, let me tell y'all what we did. We got up to the place and it's on Pagan Day Sunday, right? So there's people all over the place, right? Up at the river. And so they're charging for parking. And so we never worry about it because we know Yahuwah is going to take care of us, right? So we go up and we can't find any parking. And then when we finally find parking, again, they wanted to charge, but we can't transact and spend any money. So we're never worried about it. And if they try to do that, they force us, well, then we just had a nice little drive. We return home. So what we did was we said to the man that was there, listen, and I heard Lena speaking in Spanish. Today is a type of Shabbat for us. We're celebrating New Moon Day. We cannot pay you any money today. If you will allow us to park here today, tomorrow we will send you the money, plus we'll give you a little extra tomorrow. And you're going to have to just trust us because you might not hear from us ever again. And guess what? He says, no problem. Got his information. So tomorrow we can take care of him. Tomorrow we do no transactions today. And that's what happens when you love Yahuwah. You just stay out of it. You don't deal with it. You don't get involved in doing any transactions under any shape, form, or fashion. And that brings me to a story to open this up because my dad had me cracking up about this story that happened last year. So we had an incredible story that happened with me and my dad. And my dad, as you've seen, he's growing into Yahuwah. He's learning to be able to follow Yahuwah. He's watching his son. He's scratching his head and he's watching how much Yahuwah has talked to me. And he just said to me the other night, he said, I'm just amazed at what's going on And I know that Yahuwah is real because I know you're my son. And I know you could not know all the things you know unless some higher power is working directly with you and through you. And so I'm going to tell y'all this story. But before I tell y'all the story, would y'all please hit the like button? Hit the like button and then hit those heart buttons and then just put a bunch of hearts up and share this out with as many people as possible. Share it to at least 2-3 different platforms, 2 or 3 different people, so that they can understand the power of New Moon Day. Why? Not hardly one in a, let me say, not maybe 1 in a million people, maybe 10 million people understand the power of New Moon Day. Maybe 50 million, maybe 100 million, maybe 1 in 500 million really understand the significance and the power of New Moon Day. So we got a great group gathering here with us today. Big shout out to Deontay. Good to see you. He's sharing on his Facebook page. Way to go, Deontay. Tiffany coming in from Jackson, Mississippi. Shout out. My wife, Lena, said best time at the river on this New Moon Day. Yes, we did. We had the best time. Go Trim. Rush. Brian is in the house. Good to see you. William Pola. We've got Luya. Good to see you. Blake Bernays. Hawaii is in the building. Good to see you. Lisa Alston. Michael Feckick is in the building, outside in the backyard, resting around the creek for New Moon Day. Hey, Michael, way to be obedient to Yahuwah. Suhey, good to see you, sis. Much love to you. Amber House, our beautiful and wonderful sister. Love you with all we got. Jermaine Ford. Everybody was impressed yesterday, Jermaine. They were so impressed with you, young man. You stay the course. You really encourage a lot of people. Jermaine Ford, getting very close to platinum. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yahuwah, 144K in the building. I gotta get that name. Y'all should put y'all's names in here. That way I can say your names. I don't want to disrespect anybody. Notoria. All right, my man Randy Moon. Donna Steele's up in here. I see you, Donna. All right, Yamani, our wonderful sister. Look, the code searcher, whoever that is, I'm sending you some love. All right, we're going to go in on the count of 1, on the count of 2, on the count of 3, we're going in. All right. So hardly anybody gets this thing about new moon. So my dad, he's learning more and more about the new moon, right? So last year in the summer, I want to repeat the summer, in Florida, in the summer in Florida, my dad has set up for us to go fishing. So my dad arranged, got a boat together, all this stuff, and we're going to go fishing. And it happens to be he wanted to fish on New Moon Day. Y'all pay attention. This is a big lesson here. And it's funny, too. You cannot transact business on New Moon Day. But you can enjoy yourself. You can go to the park. You can go to the beach. You just can't transact. And that believe it or not, it takes a big discipline not to transact. But Yahuwah will give you a mega blessing if you observe it and you don't transact. I'm telling you. Don't do any financial transactions. Don't make any money. Don't spend any money on New Moon Day. So I told my dad, I said, Dad, my beliefs are solid on this. I'm obedient to Yahuwah. I said, I don't mind. We can go fishing, whatever, but we got to be completely prepared the day before. Everything we need until that sun completely sets at dusk. Now, I want to make sure y'all understand. Dusk is different than sunset. So sunset typically happens about 30 minutes or so before it's dusk. You have to go to where there's no light, and that is dusk. Dusk means there's no more light. Okay? Once there's no more light, that Sabbath or that New Moon Day is over. Does that make sense, fam? That's right, Rush. I'm refreshed. I'm telling you, I was chilling at the river. So that New Moon Day or that Sabbath, once there's no light. How do you know there's no light? You look up in the sky. If you happen to see some stars and whatnot, you know that sun is completely down, and not only set, is down and you have entered night. That dividing point that Yahuwah talks about where he separated day from the night. Are y'all with me? Okay. So I said, Dad, now y'all know in Florida in the summertime, I don't think it gets dusk to around 9 o'clock in the summertime, 9 p.m. So I'm like, Dad, if we're going to go fishing and we're going to be somewhere, right? Now I'm going to tell y'all, we happened to set it up to where we were going to stay at a hotel that next day. So we prepaid for the hotel before New Moon Day. Are y'all listening? I'm teaching y'all how to operate in real life in this world. So this is most stuff that most people leave out there, and they leave it very ambiguous to where it's cloud. What do I do? I'm telling you real life stuff of how to be disciplined and be obedient to Yahuwah and still living your life, like real day-to-day life. Y'all with me? Okay. So, yeah, like William said, sometimes over there it's 10 p.m. All right, so you got to know when's that sun going to be completely setting. So I told my dad, we got to be completely prepared, have everything set. We can fish that day, but we can't transact. We cannot even check into the hotel until it was 9 something that night, right? So we get out on the road. So we got prepared. We had our sandwiches, had all our bait. We had everything we were going to do for the next day. Had everything locked and loaded. Everything. Went to the store, got a couple bags of ice, the whole 9, put the ice in the freezer. So when we get the next day, we can take the ice and put it in the cooler and be ready to go. Are y'all with me? All right. So we get up, we get driving. Now we got about an hour and 45-minute drive to get to this particular lake. We're into the drive about halfway, 45 minutes, somewhere between 45 minutes to an hour. And then in my head, I'm like, I didn't put that ice in that cooler. I didn't get the ice out of the freezer at the house and put it in the cooler. Florida, summer times, up in the 90s, right? I'm thinking, I pray that my dad put that ice in that cooler. So I go, Dad, you put that ice in that cooler? And then I saw the look on his face. Y'all know that look where he's like, I was like, Dad, you didn't put the ice in the cooler? He goes, no. I said, we got to turn around, go back, get that ice. So we're going to burn an hour and a half. Now, anybody that's serious fisherman, you know you want to be on the lake early in the day at a certain time, right? My dad said one of the funniest things to me ever, and I never and forget it. And it ended up being such a trip, y'all. Y'all listen to this story. My dad looks over at me. Now he's learning the ways of Yahuwah. He's learning about New Moon Day, the whole 9. I'm like, great, we got to turn around, go back. We just going to get on the lake. We got to have ice. In Florida, in the summertime, we're going to have some ice, right, for the drinks because you get where you're dang near dehydrated by the time you get 2 or 3 o'clock in the day fishing in Florida, you got to have that ice to have something cold to drink. My dad looks over at me, y'all, and he says, let me ask you a question. I said, yes, sir. As I'm about to do a U-turn. He goes, did Moses and Aaron have any ice in the desert back when they were out there working their way towards the things Yahuwah wanted them to do? Y'all, I start cracking up. My dad says to me, did Moses, Masha, and Aaron, did they have any ice in the desert when Yahuwah was delivering them out of Egypt, out of Mitzrayim? I started cracking up. I said, what do you mean? He goes, we'll be all right. We'll be all right. He goes, we got to go out there and we got to just keep our minds. We just got, we'll get through the day. We got some drinks in the cooler. Ain't no ice on them. So I said, Dad, they going to get hot. I said, you sure you want to do this? And he goes, yes, I'm telling you, I don't want to waste this hour and a half we're going to lose to be on the lake when we know that Moses and Aaron, they didn't have no ice back in the day. Man, I was cracking up. So guess what? We went on. I'm telling y'all, We was doing good till about 2, 3 o'clock, and then that sun started beating down like you wouldn't believe. And our throats was dry, and you get in and get some water, but it was hot. Y'all follow me? It was hot, and so there was no quenching to it, right? So we fished all day, had a great day of fishing, caught a lot of fish, but man, listen, y'all. I was putting bottled water in the fishing net and putting it down in the water and trying to see if it would keep it cool, but the water temperature in the summer is warm. So we couldn't get nothing to get cool, and we out there. And so we go all the way that day. We get off the lake sometime around 7, 8, I'm thinking about 7, 7:30. We get out, get the boat, whatnot. We drive over. Y'all, we sat in the car in the air conditioner for about an hour and something, completely parched, waiting for complete dusk to happen. We just sat there with each other. My dad asked me yesterday, you gonna tell him that story? I said, I'm gonna tell him on New Moon Day. We sat there, and finally, when it got close, we pulled up over to a gas station, and the sun was about to hit dusk, and it got down to 2 minutes. And when that thing hit dusk, man, oh man, we got out. We went in that store. We got over by the fountain. My dad went over there. I got over by the slushy machine and the lemonade and the iced tea, and we didn't say nothing for about 20 minutes. People was coming in and out of that store, and they were just looking at us. We were just leaning up on the counter just drinking. I mean, that's how thirsty we were, but that's how disciplined we were. Y'all follow me? So that story, we laugh to this day with all we got, but it ended up being one of the greatest blessings ever because it told us that we could do it, and it showed our honor to Yahuwah. But man, you can have fun with this in your discipline. That's the moral of the story. That's right. I'm a fisher of men and women now. So I just wanted to share that story with y'all because I thought it was so unique in real life. So, we can people try to play all prim and proper, like they don't really have real life going on. And that's not real. We promote the truth, what's truly happening to be able to stay consistent and obedient to Yahuwah. What's really going on? What's some real life examples that we can talk to y'all about that we go through on a day-to-day basis? But yet we don't sin. We just don't sin. That means we don't break the commandments. And guess what? Sometimes that you got to go over the top, like today, New Moon Day. If they would have tried to make us pay, we would have just been out on a good drive, and we would have turned around and would have came back home. And that's how it would have been. And I even asked my son Kai. I said, Kai, you want to be obedient to Yahoo? He says, I always check him, right? Kai, would you want to pay to park today? He goes, no. See, that's a discipline that you teach your children early on. You let them experience it with you. So if y'all get out there, and that's why when you do New Moon Day, you want to be very calculated if you leave your house. Because don't be talking about no ox in the ditch if you leave your house, because you don't have to leave your house on New Moon Day. So if you do leave it, then guess what? You got to be obedient and do not transact. All right, so happy New Moon Day to everybody. Hopefully y'all enjoyed that story. Y'all send my dad a shout out because he wanted me to tell y'all that story because he's proud of the fact that he was able to relate to Masha, Moses, and Aaron being in the desert, not having the convenience of ice. And if they could do it, we could do it. And we did it. We did not break anything with Yahuwah that day. Hallelujah. So what I want to talk to you about it with the power of New Moon Day is this. The power of New Moon Day is it gives you the opportunity to do the thing that you need to be doing to get the closest to Yahuwah. Okay? There's one thing that you can do that will put you closer to Yahuwah than any other thing you can do. Y'all got that? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read something to you, and I'm going to share it I'm just going to go over to our Facebook page, because I see the team posted over here today. Happy New Moon Day. And we put this in a Telegram group. And this went on our TikTok channel as well, right? And I think it went across multiple channels. I think it's on Threads. I think it's all over the place. It's on Twitter. But it says Happy New Moon Day. What is the significance? So what is the significance of New Moon Day? Well, because it is the start of a new real calendar month. In this case, it's the start of the 12th month of the real calendar year. Are y'all with me? So this will be the last month of the real calendar year. Then we're going to hit the first of the year coming up after we finish this new moon. Based on the calendar of Yahuwah since creation, Yahuwah established the sun and the moon specifically for timekeeping and more. See Barashiyt, sign named Genesis, chapter 1, verse 14 through 18. This makes sure that we are not deceived by man-made devices that are created to distract us from the Creator. Are y'all with me? Welcome, Doja. Welcome, Doja. Welcome to the Promote the Truth family. Got new people coming in here, y'all. Now, the new moon, this is the key, y'all. Pay attention. The new moon gives us a chance to reflect on the previous month's blessings. So you look back on the previous month and you go into your soul and your spirit and you go, what blessings did I receive in this past new moon? Everybody needs to make a practice of doing that. I want to teach you how to get your prayers answered with Yahuwah. This is a critical step in getting all of your prayers answered. See, not some, all. So you look back in the previous month and you identify, and you might even want to start a journal with Yahuwah. And in that journal, you want to write down, well, I appreciate this blessing. And Yahuwah did this. Like, go identify what ways you were blessed in the prior month. Are y'all with me? Welcome, Elmer. He's listening with his children on New Moon Day. We love you, Elmer, down in the Philippines. So you're looking back, and I want you to learn to identify the blessings. And then I want you to thank Yahuwah for blessing me this past month and bringing me through another moon, another new moon. I get to see another one. Because you said in Yeshayahu chapter 66, verse 23, that we're going to be celebrating from one new moon to another new moon. We'll be coming to worship before you, Yahuwah. So we know this is never going away. So I want to get in the right practice because I was deceived by Greek translations into not even paying attention to your new moon day. And y'all know that's true. Everybody here knows there's hardly a person on planet Earth that celebrates New Moon Day from the scriptures. Hardly a person on earth. Even though it says that we're going to do it for eternity. Go look at Yeshayahu, chapter 66. Last book. The last couple of verses. It's going to break it down. It's going to tell you that you're going to come before Yahuwah and worship before him from one new moon to the next new moon, from one Shabbat to the next Shabbat. That's going to happen for eternity. So why would you not dial that in right now while you're on this side of eternity before you get on that side? So there's all these blessings. So many people are wondering, why am I having to struggle so much? Why am I not getting that 30, 60, 100 fold now? Why am I not getting all my prayers answered? That's because you're missing these significant things. There's one thing you got to do that has to be foundation to your prayers for Yahuwah to answer them every time. I'm telling you, he will answer every one of my prayers because I do this one thing. I had to learn it though. So I'm with you. I had to learn this one thing. It's called gratitude. You can't get closer to Yahuwah than being in gratitude, thanking him. So that's why New Moon Day gives you an opportunity to stop, acknowledge him as creator. Because what in the world are you doing talking about a new moon if there wasn't somebody that created the moon? You understand? So I stop, I look back at that prior month, and I go identify and get a journal. Like, do this for the next couple of years and watch what Yahuwah will do in your life. You'll be shocked when you start writing down your blessings and then you thank him for each blessing and find the blessings. They're all over the place. You're blessed everywhere. You're still breathing. Yahuwah, you kept me breathing for that month. I ate every day in that month. Write it down. It's all kind. It's not all the big stuff all the time. The little stuff equals the big stuff. Y'all with me? So you look back, you identify, then you give the honor to Yahuwah. You go, yes, yes. Thank you, Yahuwah. Now I got my gratitude checked in the prior month. All right. So the new moon gives us a chance to reflect on the previous month's blessings and reflect on the things that we can work on to get better for this new moon month, this new month. So when I look back, I go, hey, here's all the things that I did that I got blessed by. And now I want you to analyze yourself. I want you to take some inventory to go, what are some things I could have got better on? Well, I could have reacted better here. I could have communicated better there. I could have been more consistent here. Make notes in your journal. Just make some notes in your journal. You see what I'm saying? You make them notes in your journal. You go, okay. Now I'm gonna get better on these things that I could have been better at. I will be better. Write it in your journal. I will be better this new moon. Hallelujah, Catherine. I will be better this new moon on these things that I needed to work on. All right. So on the upcoming month, you're going to believe that things are going to be even better. And you're going to do it with hope, with faith, with optimism, thinking about new beginnings and more. You're going to go into unlimited. You understand? You're going to say all things are possible. I believe, Yahoo, you can do all this. I'm going to have breakthroughs this month. It's going to be a greater month this month. You're going to thank him before it happens. You're going to praise him in gratitude for what he did, and then you're going to thank him for what he's going to do. That's a key. That's a key. So let me prove to you that he'll do miracles if you thank him beforehand. So if you're grateful for the things he's done, but then you go into deep gratitude for the things he's going to do, and you believe it with hope and faith, you go, yes, Yahuwah, you're going to do this. Now I'm going to share this story that I've shared before. I'm going to share this story because it's important for y'all to, and let me put this, I'll do a little Hebrew lesson here at the same time. Let me do it. Let me put a little Hebrew lesson in here. This is going to be good. All right, we're going to talk about Lazarus, real name Al-Azhar. Okay, so we're going to talk about Lazarus. I'm going to give you Lazarus' real name in the chat in Hebrew. That way you got it down. So I'll put it out the real way, the wrong way, the pagan way that they put it, and then I'm going to put that in the chat for y'all to get it. All right, so Al-Azhar, it's in the chat. 1 second. Right now. I see it. Al-Azhar. That's Lazarus' real name. Okay? And that's how you spell it in Abari in Hebrew. Got it? You got your Aleph, you got your Lamed, you got your Ayin, right? You got your Zat, you got your Rosh. All right, so Alazar. Well, this is a good friend of Yahusha when he walked on the earth. Alazar was a good friend, like very close. He really meant something to Yahusha on the earth. But I'm going to prove to you that if you are grateful for what Yahuwah has done, and then you are grateful for what he's going to do, he will then do miracles for you. I'm in Yahuhanan, John chapter 11, verse 38. Yahuhanan, that's John chapter 11, verse 38. Yahusha, therefore, again was groaning inside himself. So he's found out that Lazarus has died. He's found out he's died. And so now he's groaning, he's mourning inside himself. That tells you that he loves, that if he's close with you, it really means something to him. All right? He goes, groaning in himself. He came to the tomb. Now it was a cave, and a stone was laying up against the cave, the hole. Yahusha said, take away the stone, remove the stone. Martha, the sister of Lazarus, said to Yahusha, Master, he already smells. It's been 4 days. So they can smell that stench of death coming out of that tomb. They can smell it, right? Now watch what Yahusha does here, and what do we need to do to get miracles? Who wants some miracles in their life? Who wants some big breakthroughs in their life? Who wants to go, man, I tell you what, it's time for me to stop letting the enemy steal from me. Yahuwah can do everything, but I gotta do the assignments. You can't be coming to Yahuwah hoping and wishing without working, because that's death. So what I'm saying to you is, as I'm teaching you these principles, you're going to have to apply them. And that's going to require your discipline. That's why we got to make disciples. So pay attention. Lazarus has been dead 4 days. He's stinking. His sister Martha she says, Yahusha, he's been dead 4 days. He's smelling. Yahusha said to her, like he's saying to you and you and you. He's saying it to every one of you, Leslie, Catherine, Blake, right? Rush, Frankie, Tiffany, Sophia, Jermaine, YBH, Emily, William, Marcel, Sherry, Rock, Nima. He's saying it to all of you. I didn't name everybody. Y'all know. Yahusha's getting ready to speak to you when he was on the earth, and now he's sitting on the high point. As Yahuwah Mashiach, he's speaking even higher, but he's about to speak to you, Brother Joe. Put your seatbelts on. Elmer, he said to her, did I not tell you that if you would just believe, you will see the esteem of Yahuwah? Huh, Donna? What Yahusha was saying then, he's saying at another level now as Yahuwah Mashiach, as the Messiah. Yahuwah, didn't I tell you that if you would just believe, you will see my esteem? So he didn't say, oh, it's 4 days. He's already dead. He's rotten. It smells. See, some of y'all think your situation is so tough, so hard, it ain't death. You ain't dealing with you having to raise something from the dead, like it's smelling already. He said, didn't I tell you? So guess what they did? They felt his conviction. They said, wait a minute. Somebody, 2, 3, 4, 5 of y'all, move that rock. Y'all get over and move that rock. Come on, get to it. Let's go. Move the rock. He ain't playing. Yahushua is not playing. He wants that rock moved. He don't have no more conversation about all this doubt that we got. Get that rock to moving. So let's get to stepping. Let's go. So everybody hustling, getting the rock out the way. So they took away the stone where Eleazar was laid. And Yahushua lifted up his eyes. Will y'all look up? Come on, Pamela, look up. Who's up there? Do you believe when you look up that YAHUAH Mashiach is up there? Look up. He lifted up his eyes and said, Father, I thank you that you have heard me. Woo! You see? He didn't ask, raise him from the dead, do this, do that. The first thing Yahushua did was teach us. He was here to teach us how to be. He was here to teach us to look up. Who's up there? Quit playing like you are not who you really are. Stop letting yourself get tricked. You are powerful. You are mighty. You were created in the image of Yahuwah. Stop letting Satan trick you. Look up. I'm looking up. Who's up there? Yahuwah! Yahuwah's up there. And guess what you got to say to Yahuwah? I thank you, Father Yahuwah, that you hear me. I thank you that you hear me. I'm not going to ask you for nothing before I thank you for hearing me. That's your code. That's your cheat code. That's your key of knowledge. You just lock it. Click, click. Yahuwah wants you to approach him and believe that he is. So you got to look up. Look up. You got to believe he's up there, sitting on high. And you got to believe that he sees you and that he hears you. And you got to thank him for it. And you got to believe it. Because on the other side of thanking him and believing that, now I just come in and give my request. And 1,000% of the time, not even 100, it comes true. 1,000% it comes true. He said, I thank you, Father, that you have heard me. Now listen to what he says next. Verse 42, YAHUAH 11:42. And I know that you always hear me. He said, I know that you always hear me. Do y'all listen? You're going to have to grow to get with Yahuwah like this. To where you can say, I know that you always hear me because I never come to you without thanking you first. So for a fact, you're going to hear me. He gave us the code. The code is you got to be grateful. Stop complaining. If you complain, you ain't going with Yahuwah ever. If you're not grateful, you're not one of his. You're not. There's only going to be a few people that get this message on earth. Because most people think they're owed something without making the deposits to make the withdrawals. I thank you, Father, that you hear me. As a matter of fact, I know that you always hear me. But look what he said. But because of the crowd that's standing by, I said this in order that they might believe that you sent me. So what he's saying is, I'm teaching them how to be. What he's doing, he's leaving these words for us today. I'm teaching them how to do it. They got to thank you first and believe it. And if they can't believe, don't even come and try to thank him. You're double-minded, unstable in all your ways. That person should not think they will receive anything. This is a big-time faith walk. And it ain't that difficult. It's either you do or you don't. Stop playing with Yahuwah if you don't believe him. And guess what? Most of you ain't going to be able to get that energy up to believe him. Because Satan's got you so full, life's got you so busy, and you done got hoodwinked by the Greek translation. And mama and daddy and great grandma and great granddaddy, because they were living under the curse, they pass it on to you, and you got to know that I got to be strong to break it. Otherwise, I'm done. You have no chance to make it out of this. Zero. If you don't break the curse, it's going to curse you still. So this ain't no game to play here. We promote the truth. The truth is very few going to make it. The ones who are going to make it, they're going to break the curse. How they going to break the curse? They're going to believe Yahuwah. How they going to believe Yahuwah? They're going to say, I don't know exactly how you're going to do it, Father, but you are. And guess what? And I thank you that you're going to do it. I'm putting everything I got on it that you're going to do it. That's how we're going to roll. I do it every day. I can't make it without doing that way. Can't do it. And when he has said this, he shouted out with a loud voice, Eleazar, come out. A dead man that been dead for 4 days, stinking, beginning to decompose. Yahusha had the nerve to thank Yahuwah before he went to his miracle. The miracle was in the setup. I got to thank him. I got to believe. Don't let me ask anything until I believed and I really believe. And then I thanked him and I really am grateful. Otherwise, shut up. I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to go in the closet. I'm going to walk up in the mountains until I decide to believe. Then I'm going to come and talk to him and I'm going to thank him and I'm going to believe. And once I do that, I'm going to say, okay, Yahuwah, I need this. Come out. And old Lazarus, old Eleazar, came out, wrapped up, feet and hands, with his face wrapped in cloth. He was mummified. He was all like a mummy, walking. Can you imagine what the people were doing? You know, some people were like about to run. Like, oh. Yahusha said to him, unwrap him and let him go free. That's what we do in the kingdom of Yahuwah. We do miracles. Yahusha said it like it's no thing. All right, let's go. Unwrap him. Let's go. Let's go get something to eat. Let's go about our next thing. Let's go. See y'all. Let's go. That's how we do it here. Now, I want to come in and tell you that the power of New Moon Day is that it puts you in a power position of gratitude to be able to tap into this miracle type power that's available in Yahuwah. So you got to look at New Moon Day like a whole different angle now. You got to say, this is going to give me a chance to get my gratitude on point every new moon, to do a checkup throughout the year. It checks in on me 12 to 13 times a year to make sure I'm on point. It's going to check on me. New Moon Day gives me a checkup. Are y'all with me? If you're with me, then y'all got to understand there's only a few of us going to do this thing. Now, what I'm teaching you is from real translation and from the thoughts, from the idioms of the translation. See, if you've been hooked on King James and all its variations, NIV, Amplified, New American Standard, Name one. I prove it almost every time I put scriptures up. People come out with every different version, and I always prove that they've all been influenced by the Greek, which has literally kept you from what? Getting your blessings. Because you have not been able to access this type of power for most people that I'm talking about. But if y'all put away the Greek and you get, like, you got to go all in on this thing. With tsnt.org, what we're building, you got to say, listen, man, this word, this real word of Yahuwah is the most important thing that's happened since Yahusha came, died, and was resurrected. There's not been another event that's as important as tsnt.org. I believe with everything in my heart because it's going to teach people that not just the word, it's going to teach them the idioms. The idioms with the word makes it just Richter scale because the idioms are the ways of thinking, the ways of life. And see, there's not any other word that I know of in the world. I haven't found it. We bought our everything you can buy that puts this together. You got to know. Listen, I'm going to say this over and over. You got to know how to read that, right? You got to know how to read that writing. That's Aramaic. You got to know how to read it. Hold on. Let me get something else for you. 1 second. You see this big old thing? Look at that. Just look at my head. I want y'all to look at my head and look how thick that is. All right. That's the Codex Leningrad. Heavy. All right. Hold on. Thing is massive. You see that? See them words? You got to know how to read them words. You got to know how to read that Aramaic. Then you got to know how to read these words in here. You understand? Now, once you know how to read those words in Aramaic, you know how to read the Abari words, Hebrew, then you got to be immersed into the name of Yahuwah to understand what those words are saying and the idioms of them. And there's hardly anybody on earth. This thing is massive. There's hardly anybody on earth that can put all that together. Promote the Truth is one of the very few, I don't know any others, but I'm not going to say there's not others. I'm just going to say that I know for a fact that us in Promote the Truth, we understand that Aramaic, we understand that Abari, that Hebrew, and we are immersed into the name of Yahuwah, so that when I and my team read those words, we know how to translate them with the idioms to where they come out powerful and they got impact and people get changed. And there's people coming out of caves. Y'all gonna watch us raise people from the dead. It's gonna happen. I've already done it once in my life. In the name of Yahuwah. Fact. I got witnesses for people that are not Yahuwahs going, we saw it. I told somebody, wake up in the name of Yahuwah, and they got up. When the last time you raised somebody from the dead? Think about it. Calling those things that are not as if they were, and then they are. So y'all got to make a decision. Are you in or are you out? You got to get all in on New Moon Day. You can't be breaking. You can't be playing with it. You got to be like, this is my chance to get right with Yahuwah in gratitude, because my gratitude has not been on point for all of my life. And that's almost everybody hearing my voice. Yahuwah's telling me to tell you that. Don't come praying to me no more without getting grateful for what I've already done for you, because I kept you here to be able to find my name. You should be running circles around your house because I let you find my name. And your grandmama and granddaddy and greats, they didn't find it because they got all hoodwinked by their greats and their parents. But I gave it to you. And so that's enough for you just to do backflips and start getting into gratitude with me and approach me, thus says Yahuwah, the right way if you really want these breakthroughs. Now, I've sent you a project called tsnt.org. And I've sent one of my messengers and the organization Promote the Truth to tell you what's going on and give you the opportunity to walk in and tap into these blessings and get this word promoted. Because I went to Yahuwah, I said, how are we going to do all this? He said, just go speak and my sheep will hear my voice. Don't worry about it. I'm going to bring them. They're going to come from everywhere, every angle, every race, nationality, color, creed. They're going to come. I'm going to snatch them out of different religions. I'm going to snatch them out of different cultures, and they're going to support this, the right ones. You just bring the heat. You do what I taught you to do, Yahuwah is telling me. You just do what I taught you to do. Speak. Don't even know. I don't even know what I'm talking about most of the time. Like right now, Yahuwah is talking through me to tell you what you need to be doing. And most people ain't paying attention to the assignment. And then we got others that they going all in, and we're watching their lives changed. So who are the 144? If you're the 144, that means I'm going to finish with this. There's got to be 144 within this next year. I predicted it would take about a year to get 144 on the same page that are lethally spiritually trained, that we agree with everything. And we walk in the power of Yahuwah. We do not argue with people. We do not complain. We don't fuss. We are very, 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 very supportive of each other. We got each other's back like nobody's ever seen on earth. Yahusha, when he was here, said they will know me from the way you love one another. The 144 will love each other like nobody's ever seen before. People will be like, how come y'all love each other that much? Because we're going to be with each other for eternity. And we're going to love on each other for eternity. And we're going to be this one time where we didn't have to worry about, will that person stab me in my back or not? No, they got me. They in the 144. And the 144 will go get the 144,000. You watch. We'll get them 144,000. It'll come through the 144. Watch. That's my faith. Love y'all. Y'all in with the project. Now we got a mission. If you're here, you're on the mission. By the end of next week, we need to hit the goal. If you go to tsnt.org, we got a goal. We're right about halfway there. It can be done in days. We've proved it before. We've done stuff when we get focused as a team before in hours. But it's all about the ones that are the real 144, taking accountability, responsibility, pulling the right people together. You're going to have to impact other people. Some of y'all given and you're like, man, I did it. But you got to go make disciples. You got to go convert people. And that means you got to talk to more people. And the sheep will hear Yahuwah's voice. You're going to have to convert people into the kingdom. Who are the other people that are supposed to go? That's your next assignment. Once you've given what you're supposed to, and you know I'm doing my first fruits, my best. Now you turn around and go, okay, I got to impact. I got to bring more people into the fold. That's the only reason Yahushua came to the earth, was to bring more people into the fold. And he was serious about recruiting those people every day. There was no day. Once you saw that spirit come up on him, around 30 years of age, there was no day he wasn't recruiting people for the kingdom. There was no day. Every day he was on point. So I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. This new moon, I think this might be one of the most off the charts new moon messages that we've had. What do y'all think? You know, we just been going in. And y'all know how we do it here. Get over to tsnt.org. Everybody that is his sheep, you know the mission. Let's get that goal knocked out by the end of next week. This time next week, we got it done. That's what we do. And then we move on to the next project. And I'm going to show you what the next project is. And y'all going to all want that next project. Y'all going to be like, wow, we got to do it. And it's going to be through the teamwork. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Happy New Moon Day. Y'all going to be grateful to Yahuwah, and he'll give you everything you want when you approach him the right way. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.